Goodbye. Come on, Mecca, this way. Here, heel. This way, I think. Good. Hi. Mecca. Hi. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. September 12th. Several videos listed there. We gotta get to a cab, Mecca. I gotta call Sally. Wow, there's a bolt of lightning over there. I didn't ask if they could give us a ride to the train station. The rain is just starting. Good, Mecca. Good. Good. Come on, Mecca. Good. Hi. All right, thanks. And you? Are you with the Metro Access?
Ma'am?
Are you? I'm trying to get a ride to the Metro with my service dog.
Can't do that. We don't go to Metro. You might go.
Here, the other thing will come. The shuttle bus will come through the end. It'll come in a few minutes. The regular shuttle.
Oh, God willing, I hope. I see. Metro Access, it sounds like that's what should take us to the Metro. They're going driving off with an empty bus, and here we are trying to get to the Metro. It doesn't seem right. 4699. Got 3 hours to get there. You sure we can't get a ride to the Metro on the Metro?
I'm going somewhere else. I'm not even going to a Metro.
Okay, thanks. Are you sure you understand? Would be the follow-up question. Able to lead us to mobility access for everyone. The wheelchair people leading the way, making sure it's wide enough and smooth enough so we can all walk and or park side by side. Hi. Paperwork. Paperwork. Good, Mecca. Paperwork.
I need something
Ground floor admissions desk, is that where I am?
Yeah. No, they close at 4 o'clock.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they close at 4. Now it's not 10 to 5.
Okay, okay.
7 to 4.
What should I do about getting over to the metro?
The metro,
Or a cab, either one.
yeah, the cab, seeing one out there right now. That will take.
Okay. Thank you.
He said, Gail.
Did you call a cab? Hi, cab. New York, Northwest. Hi. 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 Oh, say, are you on call or are you available?
Huh?
Are you on call? Are you available?
No, I'm on call.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Yeah, God does good work, doesn't God? Hi. Auspicious weather. Hi. Here's something on the ground, a receipt. That's probably mine. Good thing I came back. So I got to come before 4 for them.
Yes.
Can I call a cab or something?
7 to
He's on call out there.
Okay, right around the corner on the
Thanks.
wall.
Okay.
Right, the phone is here and the cab number's right here.
All right. Thanks again.
Put your dog outside. You're not blind, so you have.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They don't train you very well.
I got you. Can you leave your dog?
What about the hearing impaired people? Can they have the dogs?
Can you leave your dog outside?
No. What about the hearing impaired? Can I speak with your supervisor? What about the hearing impaired people? Are they allowed to have the dogs?
I think your rider's over there, miss. I think I saw.
I'm going to the phone.
No, you're not going to the phone. Sir.
I'd like to speak with your supervisor.
I'm the supervisor.
Hey, you guy got a guy here who doesn't know the law. Can we? They are on the phone. I'm going to this phone right here.
sir.
Excuse me. Man, this guy has got a problem. I'm calling a cab.
Unit 6 to 4.
Get out of here.
Unit 6 to 4. Come to the front immediately, please.
7. You're not going to let me call a cab?
Sir,
You're mentally ill.
Not be in here.
I was just in my doctor's office with the dog. You're out of your mind. You don't know the law. Here's the law.
Can you calm down?
No, because you're treating me like a criminal.
Cab, right? I'm not treating you like a criminal.
Well, then let me make a call.
Sir, can you understand English? You're talking to you, you're hearing impaired, and you hear every word I'm saying.
Yeah, I know your type of person. You got mental problems. You have an authority complex.
I'm not going to speak with you.
You got to dial 9
Right is
first.
right and wrong is wrong.
Yeah, and you don't know the law, and you're supposed to.
What's the law?
That service animals are permitted for a wide variety of disabilities. This guy doesn't know the law. Yeah, well, the hearing impaired people can have it too. And so can the,
Just calm your voice.
okay, I'm trying to. He pushed his body into me. He put his hand on the phone to hang it up.
Down.
I'm Irish.
Okay, just calm down still. Irish. Nationalities don't have nothing to do with raising your voice.
He said he's the supervisor. Is that true? Huh?
I'm the supervisor.
Well, he lied then also.
Sir, just go ahead and make your call. Make your call.
I'm trying to make a call. He's a liar. He used his body against me. You might want to get a different employee or talk to him and have a conference with him. He needs a psychiatrist. That's why we have black on black crime, because people like him warp our kids. My doctor's black.
Just make your call.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
You're the supervisor. I'm trying to appeal to you. He could get someone arrested or committed to a mental institution. He's a bad person. He's mean. And we got a lot of witnesses out here who saw his behavior. It's an occupational hazard. You get a badge, you get authority, you want to start pushing people around. It might be a plea for help by him. This is not answering. Yellow cab. I don't know how to hang it up. Try again. District cab.
I think it's right through here. Take the elevator.
Where are you trying to go now?
To the garage.
To the garage?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Go to the garage, go to the second floor. You walk across,
Take this elevator to the second floor.
you walk across the bridge, and then you take the elevator down
Down
to
to
the
the,
garage.
thank you.
Yeah, operator 22. This is William Hale, H-A-L-E. I'm at the Province Hospital ground floor main entrance, and I need a cab to take me to the Kennedy Center, please. Thank you. (202) 465-0067. Thank you.
Taxi Transportation Operator 22, can you hold, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Good, Mecca. I think there's only one way out of here now. You looking for the old door? It's over here now. Find the door. Perfect, find the door, Mecca. It's for emergency only, though. We got to find the other door.
You can guard that door.
All right, perfect, find the door, Mecca. Good, Mecca. Hi. Hi. Come on, Mecca. Hi. Hi, how are you? Hi. Yeah, this is William Hale calling back. I just spoke with operator 22 and I wanted to confirm I had the right number and you knew I would call you. Okay then, I'll wait 10-15 minutes. If no one shows up, I'll call you again.
All right.
Thanks. Able to lead us to mobility access for everyone.
Yeah, so if you hear like state sizzling in the background, it's not steak, it's rain hitting the ceiling. Yeah, what I said was the blind person, that the sound of heavy rain on the concrete is just like sizzling steak on the grill. Yeah, I'm ready for steak too. So honey, how you doing today?
Good,
Very
Mecca.
good. And I wanted to ask you, when
Hi.
are girls' birthday?
Hi.
I have a girl's birthdays. That's for Audra. So we're set up. Yeah, I'm not bored now.
Oh yeah, excuse us. Sorry. There you go. Hi. Are you available? Are you available?
Yes, I am.
I need a cab to the Kennedy Center for myself and my service animal. Could I get a ride?
Yes, come on.
Thank you, sir. Good, Mecca. Ow! Come on, Mecca. Come on in. The cab driver's saving our butt. Come on in. Good dog. Good dog. Ah, Akbar! Good. Okay. Wow. Good, Mecca. Good, Mecca. William Hale calling. I have a cab. Please cancel my request. This is William Hale calling for the district cab people. I was fortunate enough to get a ride. Please, could you please cancel my request for a cab? Oh, I'm on hold. Okay. Good, Mecca. You got enough room there, Mecca? Good, Mecca. Huh, I wonder what the story is with this van here. They're moving a little bit. Is there a light? I don't see a light.
Right at the corner. There's a lot of cars here. That's all.
Oh, we got a long line of cars, huh? Wow. Oh yeah, there's the light.
Thank you, sir. Operator 21, I'm gonna help you.
William Hale calling back. I have a cab ride. Please cancel my order. If I owe you some money, I can pay you $10 or something.
That's Operator 21. Okay, sir, that's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. The security guy at the hospital has a mental problem. Wow. He's telling me I couldn't use the phone to call a cab because I have a dog with me. I said, it's a service animal. Here's my paperwork, a letter from my doctor right here. He doesn't want to look at it. He wants to be confrontational. He puts his body between me and the phone. He puts his hand on the phone to hang it up so I can't call. I mean, why does he want to stop me from calling a cab to get out of there? It's right by the main desk. I said, can I speak with a supervisor? He says, I am the supervisor, right? So once I go to the phone and he starts to panic, he gets on the radio and calls someone. A nice elderly woman shows up. I say, are you the supervisor? She says, yes. So he lied to me on top of all of it. He's got a mental problem. It's like an occupational hazard. You know, I get a badge, I can control people now. This guy here, he looks like a wingnut. I'm going to have some fun and control him, you know? Whew.
So the supervisor got it under control. She just used the phone.
Yeah. She'd had, bring your voice down, and I, tried to. I said, I'm Irish, and she got under control. She listened to my complaints well enough. She let me use the side door to exit. She seemed to. I said, it might be a cry for help on his part. Maybe he wants some professional help about this. Ironically, I ran into almost the exact same behavior pattern last night at the American Legion. I got an email.
Straight up the street? Right.
I got an email from the post commander. It says we're having a meeting Wednesday night at 7. I show up at 6:45. These people come out. Oh, you can't come in. Oh, I'm a member. Oh, okay. I'm a son of member. You can't bring your dog in. Oh, it's a service animal. Here, well, let me get the membership list. And he comes out. Okay, well, we can't find it. You have a choice. You can either go home and get your membership card, or you can wait here until the son of leader comes in for the meeting, and he'll vouch for you that you're a member. So I waited till 7:15, and then I ended up going home. I printed out the email. I photocopied the email and the ID, and then I went back, and the bartender starts again, you can't come in here. I said, look, I got the paperwork this time. And so he said, well, you better go upstairs then and show them. So he got out of it fast, and I went upstairs, and I walk into this kind of quiet meeting, and the guy who had confronted me outside, he's up at the front somehow, and he gets up and says, come outside, let me talk to you outside. And I know that pattern of behavior. Then a little further, next thing he push you out the door. So I explained to the meeting, I'm sorry to interrupt. This guy has an authoritarian problem here. I have the paperwork he requested. He can repent and be forgiven. Oh, that's what I forgot to say to the guy at the hospital tonight. You can repent and be forgiven by God without the need to confess. I'll try to send that to him on a postcard. So I said that to the meeting. I left, and sure enough, he said, you can't come in here, I told you. I said, look, here's the paperwork you asked for. It wasn't like, hey, did you bring the paperwork? I said, it was, I told you can't come in here. He had a predetermined thing. He wanted to say no. So then I corrected him on that. I handed him the paperwork. He said, let me see some ID, because he just wants me to have to show ID to prove I'm the person that the card is named for. And so, yeah, I got ID. I show him that, and it's still not enough. He says, well, I can't validate it, and the dog's not allowed. And it's just like this guy tonight. It must be something in black families where, because it's so tough in the neighborhood growing up in a poor area, you learn how to say no, and you get it. You're going to be able to block this person that you know is a drug dealer or kills people. You're just going to find a way to say no to keep him out of your meeting because he's a bad person, and that's the only way you can survive. And then it rubs off on the children, and they learn how to say no, and it becomes a family tribal thing. And here it is again tonight, the same kind of thing. I'm going to say no. So my prayer is that we can find a way for Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King. My doctor's a black woman, I like to help heal this kind of thing. Maybe some white cultures out in the farm do a similar kind of thing. They're going to find any way to say no. But where my family grew up is you try to find a way to say yes. And if you don't have the graven image ID, you say, well, how did you become a member? And then you sort of listen. Is he pulling my leg? Is it a real true story?
One moment. Hello, AK. How you doing? Good. Michael's in the hospital. Give him a call. Call him on his cell phone, all right? I got a fare, all right? So I'll call you back when I drop this guy off. Okay, later on. Okay. Just tell my brother and all the brothers at the VA up here.
The Veterans Administration?
Yes.
All right. Joe, what's his last name? The public relations manager for the VA Association. I've met him, and he's a good guy.
So they still didn't let you into your meeting after they sent you an email and you showed them?
Yeah, after I went home, I printed out the email, and I handed him the photo ID, and then we're going down the stairs. Well, up at the top of the stairs, he's saying, look, we need an ID. And I said, I got it. And he said, then another guy comes and says, we have a problem with dogs. I said, this guy has a problem with graven images. And he said, yeah, but we have a problem with dogs. And I said, well, graven images are a bigger problem. It's number one on the list. Thou shalt not put any graven or engraven images before the Lord thy God. It's number one problem. And the dog is way down the list. And so then we're going down the stairs. It's obvious he's going to give me the bum's rush. And we get to the door. He says, hit the door. Hit the door. And I said, look, I've established that I'm a member. Could you please be polite to me? He said, hit the door. I said, if you'll say, please leave, I will leave. Just say, please leave. Hit the door. Hit the door. That's all he could say over and over again. Finally, another guy comes down the stairs, and he says, will you please leave? And I said, this guy represents the American Legion. And start to step out the... Oh, a weird thing was, the guy that's telling me to leave, he stepped out the door himself, trying to lead me out to follow him or something, or maybe he was throwing himself out and letting... But the weirdest part is after I finally getting ready to leave, because the other guy said, please leave, and was polite, he looks me in the eye and he says, almost under his breath, you took it like a real man tonight. So maybe he has something from the military where he thinks he's like a drill sergeant and he's going to put me through boot camp about authority, and he actually respects the fact that I tried to stand up to him and prove my case logically. I don't know. But a lesser person than myself, say a VA guy who was handicapped, who had post-war stress syndrome or something, and he meets someone like that and he has the service animal and he gets the bum's rush,
right.
He go home and commit suicide.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Right. So the worst I can think of is they got an under the table economy going, dealing drugs or something through the American Legion, and they don't want an outsider coming in and blowing their cover. That's the absolute worst I can think of. And then the best I can think of is, like I said, the drill sergeant boot camp psychological thing, test the manhood of this guy who looks so different. I feel like an honorary black person, so I have this beard, and all my life the white people have discriminated against me because I'm a bearded hippie. I feel like an honorary black person. Man, but I left, and I guess in the news today it said send us a postcard. Then some guys 4 people got shot on New York Avenue Northwest today. Well, I only saw it on one source on a tweet. It might be not true, but it looked like it was from AP or Reuters or something. 4 people got shot fatally on New York Northwest. That's a pretty weird place for people to get shot. And I'm like from New York, and I don't know if, some small-time petty rivalry thing happened, but I get emotional. If I was really smart, I would just, as soon as I wreck it, I would leave. But I love people, and I have this Irish thing where you vent and you speak about all these emotions. It's how I was raised. You don't do the Chinese thing where you're inscrutable and you try to not let anyone know how you feel, and then you leave, and then you get them later, either filing a lawsuit or, whatever they do. So I don't know. I told them that's why your kids don't like you. That's why they don't respect you, because you won't listen to reason. You just want to say no, and you're making up reason after reason to say no. I say that's why we have black on black crime and stuff. He said, now you're trying to make it a racial thing. I said, yeah, it is a family thing. It's learned from the parents, and then the kids do it to the others. Yeah. So I have a external memory of the whole thing, and I probably should put it on a computer disk and send it over to the post commander and say, look, what can we do?
Yeah, what can we do about this? Because I was invited.
Yeah.
I showed my ID. They asked for my ID. And
yeah.
Then they escorted me to the door.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah, because of my dog, yet they're selling alcohol down there to people, and this is my medical dog, and I showed them the paperwork from my doctor. So that I don't drink, and I don't get hooked on drugs. The doctor prescribed the dog for me. And what can we do? Because as a public accommodation, the law says that the people in charge of the public accommodation have to know the law and let you in. It's not my job to show up with the law and educate him. He said, you have to have something in this paperwork that shows what the American with Disabilities... Paul Bedard bus being towed away. So, I don't know. Someone like that can end up being your buddy for life. If you do it right, they repent and they're forgiven and they respect you, or they can end up getting lost. And I just gotta... But the weird part, and why I'm letting you know all this, is because I met the same thing tonight at the hospital and this other guy.
Get all the paperwork and then show the guy up at the hospital just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to, if you show him paperwork that the dog is a service animal, there's nothing he can say but help you.
He didn't ask for the paperwork. He didn't say, can you prove what you're saying? He said, only blind people can have the dog. So he's not educated well enough. He's supposed to be trained that... I said, what about the hearing people? Can the hearing people have the dog? And I'm pulling my ear. So, because if he admits the hearing people can, then you can go to the next step. And so the wheelchair people can, to pick up the dropped item. And so can I. But he wouldn't. He knew that was the plan, so he's not going to answer about the hearing impaired. He doesn't want to lose his grip on saying no. Wow. Or maybe he wants to learn about the power and control of the logic, so by confronting me with the no, 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 then he hears how I do it, then he learns, oh, that's how I can control a situation, by asking this kind of question, holding up a piece of paper, asking to speak for the supervisor, so on and so forth.
Hopefully the supervisor will reprimand him for claiming he was a supervisor.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's a... And ironically, a police officer taught me, they said, you can ask for a supervisor. There's some, it's an occupational hazard. The badge, the authority, the ability to control people, police, mental health institutions, I don't know about ambulance drivers, but they're attracted to that. Oh, I can control people, and the training needs really weed them out and seed them and have a chapter on occupational hazards. Watch out for certain personality types are attracted to our profession. Know what kind they are and how to diagnose and heal them. Like good cops, test other cops and help recruit. So, hand on her hip, the kid with an umbrella. I'm a repentant sinner. I mean, I believe you can repent and be forgiven and seek and accept the forgiveness and the forgiven. I notice the political people around here, word gets around that you have been a sinner and you've repented, but their whole theory is no forgiveness. Once a person has sinned, we got them. We can always use it against them for the rest of their life. We can destroy their career, make them feel guilty because they sinned. And that's worse than the sin, because it rejects the whole theory of forgiveness. Yeah. And that's what makes the world strong, is that God made the creation so that you can self-correct, you can repent, and you can overwrite the sin, the mistake, the false shortcut, and you can go back to where you were last sure you were doing things right and restart again from there forgiven. Like this guy in Alaska, he said to me, the day I graduated from high school, I started going bad, I started drinking. And we're up in this small little town in Alaska, so what do? I say, you can repent. Let's go back to where you were last sure you were doing things right. He said, okay, my high school's down here. We walked back to his high school. We walked in the door together. We didn't have to go any further. He said, yeah, this is where I went to school. Okay, well, let's restart again from here. We'll go out, and you won't drink this time. And sure enough, we both walked out. The whole town understood what he was trying to do, right? And so he's forgiven. And instead of trying to hold it against him for the rest of his life that he was an alcoholic, they all pray to God that it sticks and his forgiveness. And that's why we have checks and balances anyway. Whether or not you've ever been a sinner, we're supposed to be checking and balancing our stuff. But DC, man, they call it dirt and stuff. Living wage. Yeah, the fast food workers are trying to get $15 an hour in New York.
In New York, yeah.
DC is getting more and more like New York every day.
Every day.
It used to be a sleepy southern town, Dublin as a national capital.
Yeah.
Now it's Hudson News and all the war money and under the table drug money coming in, buying up the real estate, putting up high rises. Packing them in, National Stadium. Now they want to put a soccer stadium over in Southwest, where it's an open space. You used to go over there, ride the bike with your dog. Now it's going to be a big stadium, soccer for all the Hispanics to keep them loyal to the... Man, we ought to build a second national capital near the Rocky Mountains and split our sessions to better unite our country. 6 months here, 6 months there. But then they'll say, oh, we got to have more development to sustain D.C. while the Congress is not here. More development, more high-rise. Gray, I don't know, he missed that thing. But do you see about them repossessing the houses at the auction? Wow, there ought to be alarms built into the system that if it's more than a certain amount of variance between the price and how people are getting stuff, it rings an alarm, and that the mayor's phone, the light comes on, and There's a variance of 20% in the parking department between the budget and the actual. There's a variance of 100% in these auctions on the mortgages. And here's the guys who should be delivering the drugs, not the Mexican cartels. They could be profitable. They do it by registered mail on Saturdays only with a dog to protect them and a gun. And they deliver it to the house door, and you have to prove to your doctor you're taking your prescription and not giving it to kids. And then the USPS would be profitable again. And these guys would be working for USPS wearing a uniform doing it instead of hanging on the corner and not caring about the guys just as long as they get the $40. New shoes cost less than new tires.
Overall, on Wall Street, it turned out to be a marginally lower day. The Dow closed down 26 points to settle at an even 15,300. The Nasdaq lost 9 points, and the S&P 500 gave up 6. From the Washington Business
26.9, and someone gave up.
Foreseeing when to expand the waiting room. Whether adding dental services to your veterinary practice was a good idea.
And how are you, sir?
I'm having a wonderful day.
Good. Glad to hear. You look in good shape. You remind me of my football coach a little bit. Dick O'Shaughnessy. He was a good coach. And how's your family?
Family's fine.
Good. Good.
So what type dog do you have?
Mecca is an Afghan hound service animal. Long-suffering patient has to wait and wait and wait while I work on the computer, and then finally we get out.
Okay.
They're an interesting breed. They're sort of like Australian kangaroos and mountain goats, and sort of independent, not fully domesticated, but Mecca's doing really well. Sometimes I'll hold my hand by gently putting my hand, while I'm holding the leash, Mecca put Mecca's mouth around my hand, like I have this sprained little finger from a college wrestling act. Mecca actually grabbed the finger between the teeth really gently and sort of like let me know, hey, I know your finger's out of joint. Knows our schedule, gets us up, and still regresses some, loves to play with other dogs. But my doctor said, you're obese. You're obese. And I heard that so many times from the first 2 or 3 physicals that I said, doctor, prescribe me a service animal and I will train the dog to run beside the bicycle with me and it'll help my obesity. And I had to ask 2 or 3 times, but finally she did. And it works. I feel so guilty, the dog has got to ride that bike, so I got to get out there and do it. It wasn't totally easy training the dog either. I had 3 of these Afghan hounds. I was training all 3 of them, and you got to walk with the dog, then you and the bike on the far side. You go for a few blocks, then you can put the bike between you and the dog, and you walk for a few blocks so they sort of get used to that. Then you can actually get on the bike and go for 1 block and before it falls, and you keep repeating that, and finally they learn to run beside the bike. But some people think it's natural and easy, but it's not that easy to. Not every dog can do it.
That's true.
I saw a thing on the New York Times about obesity in the U.S. population had kind of peaked. Yeah, they thought it might be genetic. I think it's the screen culture and sitting watching the screens.
Thank you. That's all it is. And fast food restaurants.
Okay, yeah. They were educating poor women about diet for their children, and they reduced obesity in the target population by I don't know if it was double digits or not, but they had some success.
But it all boils down to you have to educate them.
Yeah, and follow and educate, motivate, and reward.
It will knock this heat right out of here. And overnight, as the showers and storms end, temperatures will fall from the upper 50s, middle 60s. Gorgeous weather tomorrow. Partly cloudy, breezy, less humid, mid-70s. Sunny, only near 70 on Saturday. Mostly sunny, mid-70s on Sunday. Beautiful weather continuing pretty much as far as the eye can see. Weather updated around the clock on WTOP. I'm ABC 7. Doug Hill and ABC 7's live supervisor.
Unity.
The bulk of the rain right now in the Boone area heading toward Annapolis along the Route 54 road.
District of Columbia. Something like it was averaging 4 minutes for ambulances response time in New York. Wow. That seemed, yeah, that, yeah.
That's in New York.
Yeah. Used to have a lot of them. DC was having fires in the ambulances. Some union problem.
Lack of equipment and lack of people. They're like 200 people short.
Wow.
WTOP was saying that they're behind in people and equipment.
Mm.
And all the people that have retired.
Uh-huh.
And they have replaced those people. Because of budget cuts or whatever the reason might have been. Same thing with the police department. You got guys that are at their retirement age and they need to restock the, replenish the force.
Well, if nothing else, we ought to have the Friends of or Friends of the DC Fire Department and Police or auxiliary and civil defense training and stuff, so that, like Neighborhood Watch, they have community leaders. So instead of always thinking you got to call a specialist, you can self-test and learn enough and qualify so you get the keys to a civil defense vehicle in case there is an emergency. You can use that vehicle to help people.
Dozens of flights are delayed or canceled. Flights were diverted to other airports.
I see them parking empty police cars around. They say it's a deterrent. I say, well, why? It'd be better to park empty civil defense cars around and let people qualify to have keys for it, so it would really be useful.
We had about an hour full of fuel, and then that hour went on, and we landed here. When we landed here, they said the tower had been hit by lightning. Alan Sternfeld is upset at the lack of accommodations from the airline.
They made no provisions to get us there. No ground transportation, which cost $72.
At Dulles International Airport, Ari Apps, WTOP News.
The severe storms caused thousands of power outages around here. The Storm Desk is brought to you by
The main cab.
Start saving on auto insurance by getting your own Elephant today. Visit elephant.com. 19,000 Petco customers without power, mostly in Montgomery County. BGE is reporting more than 3,500 outages in both Georges and Williamson counties. 1,100 Moda customers are estimated.
Sun Trust. Oh, yeah, Medine.
CBS News update.
How about the Walmart thing? Have you heard any more on that?
As far as the minimum wage, he vetoed the bill.
Gray vetoed the bill.
Gray vetoed.
Son of a gun.
He did.
It was for if a company has more than a certain number of employees, they have to pay an enhanced minimum wage, I think.
He said it was going to hurt business or hurt other businesses from coming to the city.
Yeah, parking lot full, man. Come on. Let the people who are already here make money.
That's what he did. So now they're talking about overriding his veto.
Good.
But they don't think they had enough votes to do that.
Yeah. What can we do? Get a petition up or something to motivate?
Yeah. 'Cause that's what happened in Montgomery County with the trash workers. They went on strike, and now they have to be paid $13, $13.50 in benefits or something, because they weren't making any money driving the trash truck.
Hey, that's hard work.
It is hard work. A lot of times these companies get these contracts, and they put the majority of the money in their pockets, you know, and don't pay their employees.
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
It's really sad.
The guy that actually does the work's not making enough.
Not making enough. Not making enough. And the people who have the contract are the ones making all the money.
Because they got the connections and they represent social stability, and they'll get the guys to vote for the guy.
Right.
Man, that's not right.
The way the political game is played in this country.
Yeah, in most places around the world, somebody's probably worse than it is here, but it's not right. Up in Maine, the Walmart's up there. They have all these boxes coming and going. They're near the borderline there. I'm pretty sure they're smuggling drugs. I was up at a border town looking at an apartment to rent, and the people left me at a parking lot for a fast food place. I had called a cab to come take me back to the other town. So I'm waiting for the cab to show up, and this border patrol agent arrives, and he drives his car right at me. I sort of try to step to the side, but he continues to steer right at me. And so I stop, and he comes over. He wants ID. He wants to know, I'm suspicious for standing in the parking lot, waiting for a cab. And his buddies come and eventually kind of assess me and figure, man, you caught too big a fish, man. You better let him go quick. And the next day or two later, I'm at the Walmart, and this guy comes with a shopping cart right at me, just like the same angle as the Border Patrol guy. So I put two and two together. I figure all those, and then outside the Walmart, they got, you know, those smoke cigarette things that tall, thin, you can't fish it out. A whole line of people, practically 5-7 people, come by putting their cigarettes in there, like to let me know, hey man, we're keeping this under control, sort of thing. But there's so much temptation up there with the porous borders and stuff, and that's why the post office should be doing it instead of them. They can work with the post office themselves. I went to the county fair up there to the trotting race, because Mecca, my dog, liked the horses. One guy's sense of humor was, your dog can run faster than some of these horses. But here's an old grandmother walking by, holding hands with her granddaughter, and yeah, you wonder, maybe, you know, for her it's like a bourbon or a cognac or something to probably take a shot of heroin and go out and if anyone ever could role model responsible social behavior for use of that kind of drug, it would be these people, you would think. But it's illegal. And then it feeds that whole corruption system, no matter how good those people are, the way they use it. So that's what I think of when I think of Walmart. And Hillary Clinton, I guess, too. She was on the board of directors. Man.
Something today about Hillary Clinton and the people who fundraise for Vince Gray are fundraising for her, and you know, the corruption is on the table or something.
Oh yeah, some executive or something was the headline. Yeah, I said I'll start reading the headlines when I see Hillary Clinton changes her name to Hillary Fritchie, or Bill and Hillary renew their marriage vows in New Haven. I'll read that article. Or Hillary Clinton attends the christening of her granddaughter. That's what I want to read. Here comes a little dog. Black and the white. And the turquoise and the blue jeans. Something on the shoulder. AbesTrans.com.
27 months for only $349. See your dealer for details. Details online at ProHenryChantilly.com. I'm Bob Harper, WTOP traffic. Doug Hill at ABC 7. Doug, I guess the heaviest stuff was a little earlier, but you still got a few things out there.
Yeah, especially in Rutherford County. That's pretty much that county is where all the heavy rain is. A few little heavier.
Did you go to the Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. 50th?
Yes, I did.
What was your impression of that, should I ask?
I was very impressed with all the different speakers and the old timers that really showed up. I worked that morning, and I was taking a lot of seniors down there. I was surprised that a lot of them showed up because I was 12 years old when the original speech happened, and I know I had to stay home. I wasn't allowed to go. I had to stay home and watch the other kids because all my aunts came down from Philadelphia. My aunt came up from Richmond, and they all caught the bus with my mother and her husband to go down. And like I said, I stayed home and watch the kids.
You were the babysitter.
Yeah, I was the babysitter.
Saturday, our average high temperature on October 11th is sunny day, and that's what we're going to have on this Saturday. Sunshine, high 70. 57 minutes. 76 now in Fairfax, 80 now for Marlboro, 77 in the nation's capital. Just a few hours ago, it was in the 90s.
That's a big drop. Thank you, guys.
Seasonal super sale. Half off labor and materials. Technology's revolutionary resurfacing system eliminates cracks and sputters and transforms your old deck to a beautiful low-maintenance composite deck at half the cost of deck replacement. Technology eliminates yearly maintenance and provides a 10-year warranty. Call now and receive half off labor and materials. 1-888-422-3569 or technology.com. Come replace your deck, resurface it. Call 1-888-422-3569 or techhelmet.com.
Grand Cab. Have a grand evening at the Kennedy Center. Who's